Palantir Technologies and the third quarter earnings call. Is the bubble going to finally burst or not yet? Are we eyeing a new all-time high? Are we eyeing a good rally or are we looking for a sell-off? Hey up everyone, welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor, I'm Vaz. And today we are covering Palantir Technologies third quarter earnings call. Now we are waiting for the closing bell. So what is the market doing? Today we had a slight sell-off, slight reaction to downside few hours after the opening bell on the S&P, but we are now recovering, so we are 0.18% up on the day. Nasdaq is flat. Bitcoin, XRP and Ethereum, crypto doesn't like it today, and it's been selling off and off and off. I mean, XRP 10.5% down. Wow. Do we have any XRP investors? Let me know. Let me know, how are you feeling? Are you holding? Are you selling? And what do you think? When do you think this will change? Gold slightly up, just above the $4,000 mark. And then we have silver slightly down. So what do you think of today's markets? Well, I think Palantir will have a lot to say. If I look at the chart, today we touched the all-time high multiple times and we bounced from it. We bounced from it down quite a few times. Slight retraction, probably some profit taking as well, because everything is now priced for the earnings call. We are about 5 minutes away from the closing bell, about another 5 minutes away from the numbers coming out. And then we can see, are we going to see a massive rocket? Are we going to see a massive long green candle and a good run after that? Or are we going to see a big red one and a subsequent sell-off? Well, let's find out. Let me just put up our friends from Bloomberg for now, because when in doubt, ask Bloomberg. So let me just let's have a look at what they are talking about. Our friends from Bloomberg. Can we hear you? We can't hear you. When in doubt, are they talking about Palantir? Ask Bloomberg.
Today, turning to the public market to raise
so let me just let's have a look at what they're talking about.
Exactly.
It's a K. Are you going to say it's K-shaped?
Well, no, but what I'm going to say is what's interesting is you mentioned Alphabet looking to sell $22 billion of bonds in the U.S. and Europe. They have received about $90 billion of orders for the securities, and we know with Meta and their bond offering was mega oversubscribed. They got so many offers. So it shows that the investors are out there, I guess, depending on which debt you are. So maybe, yes, indeed, less risky, and you get to see some of this stuff oversubscribed. All right, so maybe some concerns among some of the corporate bond issuance. Having said that, I gotta
so we are
say,
not
John
talking
Stewart
about
and his team got
Palantir
a
yet.
little bit
We are
better
not
today.
talking about Palantir yet. That is interesting. That is very interesting. They are probably waiting for the numbers to come out, and then we will see the reaction. So I will have this on standby for you. I'll have this on standby. As soon as the numbers are out, I will see what the markets are doing, what the markets are reacting to. For now, we are about 3 minutes away from the closing bell, and I would say 5-6 minutes away from the numbers coming out for Palantir. So what to expect today? I've got few show notes for you. Palantir Technologies third quarter 2025 earnings call. Well, first of all, what does Palantir do? Do we have any Palantir investors? Let me know in the chat. Are you invested in Palantir, and what is your average? Don't tell me your position. Don't tell me how much money. Don't tell me how many houses and what is your mortgage you put against Palantir. I know you wouldn't, but let me know your average. I'm very interested what your average is, because we started covering Palantir from very low numbers. I think we covered Palantir when it was around $15, didn't we? We didn't cover. We were covering Palantir, but it was obvious at around the $15 mark when we could see a big run up. So let me know if we have any Palantir investors and what is your average. What does Palantir do? It's a United States-based software company focused on data integration, analytics, and operational decision platforms. Originally developed for defense and intelligence agencies, now expanding heavily into the commercial sector, and I will explain why. I will talk about it in a few minutes. Their mission is to turn fragmented data into actionable intelligence for real-world operations. It competes with the AI enterprise data space but markets itself as an operational operational system, not a generic analytics tool. Their product, Gotham, it's government and defense platform for intelligence, counterterrorism, and mission analysis. We are about 1 minute away from the closing bell. So I will stop reading at one point. I will ring the bell. We'll have a look at the market. What is the reaction? I think Palantir will have a lot to say to today's market reaction. Another product is Foundry, commercial enterprise platform used for data unification, modeling, simulation, and workflow automation. And this could be product which will be using Archer Aviation. We know that Archer Aviation have partnered with Palantir, and Foundry could be their product used for the production line enhancement and more efficiency. We are 1 minute away from the closing bell. Let's wait for the reaction. Palantir currently holding up just under the all-time high that we hit today. It was $207.41. We are just below that level. Are we going to get a massive reaction up, or are we going to see a sell-off? Well, we are a few minutes away from that. We are 30 minutes away from the closing bell. I'm talking about Palantir. I'm now explaining their market position, but I will have to stop because I need to ring the closing bell, which is about 20 seconds away. I'm also eyeing Bloomberg if they are up to something, if they are telling something about Palantir, but not yet. They are waiting for the numbers to come out. That will be in probably 3-4 minutes. Right, the closing bell is ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Are we making money today? Did you have green or red day today? Were you taking any profits? Did you do any good trades? Well, I've loaded up. Well, I haven't loaded up, but I bought some shares for Vertical Aerospace and tomorrow's earnings call. We don't have much of a reaction yet, so I think the markets are waiting for Palantir to come out, because that could be a big. If Palantir sells off, that can have an impact on the market. S&P slightly up, Nasdaq slightly up, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum recovering from today's losses. Gold holding above $4,000, and silver almost 1% down, 0.9% down. I can see somebody said, who's that? I can't read it. Jean Valde Barrow. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Palantir, $20 average. Wow, congratulations. I can see we have more people coming in. We are covering Palantir third quarter earnings call. We are waiting for the numbers to come out in few minutes. The numbers are not out yet, but we are eyeing the reaction of Palantir and the whole market. Let me know if we have any Palantir investors. Let me know in the chat below. What is your average? Don't tell me your position. Don't tell me how much money you invested into Palantir, but tell me your average. We already have Jean saying $20. Congratulations. Are you holding, or have you taken some profits, or are you holding for long term? Human being Liz is here. Thank you for joining. And she says eVTOL was looking so good today till the US came in. I was almost green. Well, Vertical Aerospace, I am expecting positive reaction tomorrow. Are we getting some numbers through yet? No. We are showing the full market. I'm eyeing Bloomberg as well, so I'm not missing the numbers. We are covering Palantir third quarter earnings call. We are waiting for the numbers to come out, and we have a movement. And I think we may have the numbers out. So let's have a look. At the website. Amazon, big news today. You can see Amazon still up, almost 10% up. Bloomberg are now showing it. Big news partnership with Nvidia. Nvidia seemed to be partnering with everyone this week. Great news, very great news. We covered the earnings call last week. Also positive reaction, positive numbers. So it looks like we might have a good day and good week as well. Again, Chera 007, Palantir 27 average. Congratulations. The numbers are not out yet. However, we can see an upside. We can see an upside with Palantir. Let me just zoom in slightly. We are now looking at the aftermarket. After the closing bell. So I can zoom in slightly so we have better gauge. The bottom line is as the all-time high. Again, an all-time high for Palantir. How high and how long can this run? How high and how long can this run? What do you think? Let me know in the chat below. In the chat below the video. First of all, we are running a poll. Do you expect Palantir to beat, miss, or are we going sideways? I don't think we have enough votes, so cast your votes in there. I will close it shortly, and then we will see. I'll create a new poll, so we will have a bit of fun, and we can get a better feel for the investor sentiment as well. But let me know in the chat. Do you think, or what do you think will be the peak? Do you think this can run forever? Do you think this will start selling off? Do you think $250,000? Let me know what do you think. Let me know what do you think is the Palantir peak. And I'm trying to find the numbers. We don't have a reaction yet, so I don't think the numbers are actually out yet. If I look at here, right, nothing on here yet. Palantir. I can tune into Bloomberg as well, so we are not missing anything.
We were born. Katie was
But
not.
the numbers are not out yet because otherwise we would have seen it.
Okay, all right. Anyway, let's keep going. We got some more decliners.
Now you know why they're exiling you
I feel like
tomorrow.
Yeah, the numbers are not out yet. Numbers are not out yet.
We know what's going on.
And the numbers are out. And look at this. Oh, look at that. $220. Wow. Wow. I was almost going. I nearly dropped a swear word. Wow. Look at this massive run. That means the numbers are out and they must be good. I was expecting a beat. Can't see the numbers anywhere yet, but they must be out on the street, on the Wall Street, not on the street. Let's check Palantir's.
Wire right now, the stock hit a record high in the cash session. Looks like it's higher here in the after-hours trade. Adjusted EPS.
There we go.
In the most recent quarter, a big beat, 21 cents a share. The street was looking for 17 cents. Revenue coming in at about $1.2 billion. The street looking for 1.1. Here's your guidance. The company says that for its fourth quarter, it sees revenue basically at $1.33 billion. The street was looking for $1.2 billion. The company also says that it expects for the full year to close out the full year here with operating profit of $2.15 to $2.16 billion. Also well above street estimates. That average was at about $1.93 billion. So looks like a beat and raise quarter here for, of course, one of the biggest darlings in the market right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like the raise is particularly what's exciting the shares after hours. As you said, boosting their full year revenue forecast. You can see shares up by about 4.5% after hours, Tim, which is pretty amazing when you consider that this company was up more than 170% through today's close through 2025. So the expectations were high, but the first blush read here is that this is more good news.
Alex Karp talking about the good news.
Right, so the market, I told you there would be a reaction, there will be a positive reaction. S&P is now up. I know it's only 0.1%, but it's up. Nasdaq likes it as well. Crypto, not highly affected. Gold, no reaction to it, and silver is actually coming slightly down. However, excuse me. However, the S&P, positive reaction. Let's have a look at the chart. Palantir, currently some profit taking. And now we are consolidating around $212, $213. Wow. That was a good reaction. I love that green candle. That was very bright and it was burning with very green flame. I love that. I love that. But currently it looks like it's burning off, and we have only the wick. So let's see what the next candle will be. Let's keep exploring and searching for the numbers. Do we have the numbers on Palantir's website already? We don't have the numbers out yet. Let me just quickly search for other sources. Let's get back to Bloomberg. They will tell us more. That's another earning. That's another earning today. Hims and Hers Health.
The estimate had been for $74 million. So a bit disappointing relative to expectations when it comes to the look ahead. Hims and Hers Health, one of your big outperformers this year, up more than 80%. You take a look at the after hours trade, though, for Hims and Hers Health. A bit of a spike lower, but traders deciding what to do.
All right. Yeah. And this is a stock that certainly has bounced a bunch. Hey, Palantir, just a quick check, guys, up about 3% here in the aftermarket. All right. That's a wrap. Our cross-platform on radio, TV, YouTube.
We're going to miss you guys.
You guys are leaving, too.
We're
You'll
leaving.
be somewhere else tomorrow.
So is Katie the only one here tomorrow?
Kind of, yeah.
Where are you going?
We're going to Denver.
Okay.
Mile High City.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so we'll be there. Don't worry. I think Matt and Katie will be here tomorrow in our studio.
Theoretically.
Theoretically, so.
Well,
if nothing, we'll definitely be live here. We'll definitely be live here because tomorrow, what is on for tomorrow? Tomorrow after hours, Oklo. That rings a bell. Has somebody requested Oklo? Let me just quickly check it. No, nothing has been requested for tomorrow. So if you want any earnings if you want to lock in any of your companies reporting tomorrow after hours, we have Oklo, Ola, Intrusion, what's this? Hyliion Holdings, SimilarWeb, QuickLogic Corporation, and more. So if you are looking out for your earnings tomorrow, you can lock it in. It's a members request. It's a members pack. It's a $10 super chat, and you have your earnings locked in. If not, I will not be going tomorrow live for the closing bell because this week has been very, very busy, and we have a lot to get ready for the eVTOL market. Currently holding around 212, 213. Palantir. What is the whole overall market doing? S&P still slightly up. Nasdaq copying S&P. Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum going sideways, slight recovery from the today's crash. Gold holding, and silver slightly selling off. So I'm looking for the numbers. I'm looking for the report. I want to see the actual numbers and go through it with you. What is Bloomberg saying? Do we have any update from Bloomberg? No, they are.
Trends working in its favor. One is, and we heard it mentioned earlier, AI. Palantir is marketing itself as like essentially a way for big companies to incorporate artificial intelligence in their workflows. That's obviously something lots and lots of companies are spending huge sums of money on. The other thing is this is a big defense contractor, and it happens to be, and you mentioned Peter Thiel's name earlier. He's co-founder of the company. It is a company that is very close to the Trump administration. So it's both a company that is sort of well positioned in its government business, at least in the U.S., and well positioned in its commercial business. You're seeing revenue grow. Now, I think what you see skeptical analysts say, and this is a company where there's a bit of a divide between how professionals see it and the kind of masses, who are trading, on platforms like Robinhood. I think a lot of analysts feel like this stock is wildly overvalued. You're talking about, even at $4 billion of annual revenue, it's not a huge amount of money for a company that's worth like $500 billion in terms of market cap. But for now, the market likes it. This has become, it's almost a cliche to say, but it is a meme stock. It is both a company that has a real business, but also a company that has this very, very
Right, the presentation, the
notes are out. So let's go through it quickly. I will mute our friends from Bloomberg. You heard it. It's very overpriced. It's very very risky now to be investing into it now. We can see a sell-off. Actually, we are now seeing the cool off. And now
We are coming. So we had this
big green candle, and now we are back to the closing bell.
We are back to the closing bell level, and we are actually breaking through it. As the investors are reading through the business update. What is the whole market? S&P, you can see S&P is very, very slightly going down. Nasdaq very, very slightly down. No major reaction. Currently holding at the closing bell level $206, $207. So let's have a look at the business update. Let's go through the notes. So what we've got here, we've got this is in portrait mode. That will be difficult to show it on the screen. Right, we've got Rule of 40 enterprise software companies with over 1 trillion in revenue. So we have Palantir. Right, we will hear from Alex on this. We'll hear from the CEO. He'll be talking about it. Top 25 market cap companies globally. Again, Palantir's position is showed here. Who else we've got here? AMD, Tesla, Walmart, Amazon. Who is on the other side? We've got Visa, Microsoft, Meta, Taiwan Semiconductors. Who is there next to got Nvidia next to Palantir and Eli Lilly. Yeah, I want to hear from Alex. I want to see the numbers. Right, there we go. That's the numbers. That is the numbers. Very graphical. So US revenue grew 77% year over year and 20% quarter over quarter to 883 million. That is good number. That is a very good number. US commercial revenue grew 121% year over year and 29% quarter over quarter to 397 million. US government revenue 52% year over year, 14% quarter over quarter, 486 million. What else we've got here? Revenue in general, the total revenue grew 63% year over year. Wow. How about that for a number? That's great. 18% quarter over quarter to 1.18 billion. 1.18 billion. And it's excluding strategic commercial contracts. We will hear about this from Alex, definitely. Rule of 40 score of 114%. Excuse me. They closed 204 deals of at least 1 million, 91 deals of at least 5 million, and 53 deals of at least $10 million. Adjusted free cash flow of 540 million, 46% margin. Wow. And TTM adjusted free cash flow 2 billion at 51% margin. These are some good numbers. Adjusted operating income of 601 million, 51% margin. US commercial remaining deal value grew plus 199% and year over year and 30% quarter over quarter, 3.6 billion. Highest ever quarter of US commercial total contract value of 1.3 billion. That's a raise, that's an increase, 342% year over year. Highest ever quarter of TCV, total contract value of 2.8 billion. And we are seeing some update from Bloomberg as well as we speak. And adjusted earnings per share of 21 cents. Wow, right. Good numbers. However, the price of the stock still fairly high. What else we've got here? Palantir and Nvidia are teaming up to turn enterprise data into decision intelligence. This is probably the single most important enterprise stack in the world, the Palantir ontology. I was literally just going to say it. Jensen Huang said this last week on their presentation. We have some slides. Again, no doubt Alex Karp will be talking about this, but you can see the path Nvidia has in this infrastructure. What is Palantir doing?
Still holding at $206 and $207.
Let's see what the earnings call is going to bring. Palantir and Lear are powering the future of automotive manufacturing. 11,000 employees leverage Palantir across 175 use cases, driving efficiency and contributing to more than 30 million savings in the first half of 2025. Very interesting, very interesting. What else we've got here? Battlefield innovation at full speed. The new ISV Titan is a more modular and transportable platform that was designed and delivered in 90 days. With a smaller and lighter platform, it provides vital mission processing capability to the war fighter when the time matters most. Right, so we have some defense update. Are we going to see Archer Aviation? Are we going to see Archer's Midnight in the sheet? At AIP Con 8, customers showed how AIP is reshaping industries. Okay, so we will hear from Alex on this. Introducing next gen interoperability multimodal data plane. Okay, there will be some more update on the call. We are proud to partner with the nuclear company to ensure, it's called the nuclear company literally, to ensure US dominance in the global nuclear energy race. We are building an AI-powered deployment platform with technology-enabled systems that will allow our frontline teams to deliver America's next 100 reactors. The result will be low-cost, resilient, plentiful energy. And we are doing it by empowering the people who build them. Do you remember Alex when he was shouting a few quarters ago, we are doing it, and then he was swearing? You might see that. We might see that on the call again. Financials. Finally, the financials slide. So here are the numbers. US commercial continues to accelerate in third quarter alongside AIP revolution. 121% year-over-year US commercial revenue, 65% US commercial customer count. What is the stock doing? Flat, currently flat, waiting for further guidance, waiting for the call to start. Markets are going sideways now, no more reaction to it. Let's have a look at more. Let's have a look at more numbers. The event, the webcast should be starting. The webcast should be starting in about 39 minutes. I remember Palantir start on time. They start on the clock. So don't go anywhere. We are about 39 minutes away to start the actual call. I've got it on the screen. I've got it primed. I've got it all ready. You can see the countdown in the bottom. I've got notification on as well. So don't worry, you're not going to miss it. So the numbers, US commercial remaining deal value, almost 200% up year over year. If US commercial customer count plus 65% year over year. We have US commercial deals closed of 1 million or greater. It's doubled year over year. And 5 million has 5 times more. It's 5-fold. Then we have 1.3 billion US commercial total contract value, and it's almost 3.5 higher value than it was last year, this period. That's great. Our third quarter 2025 GAAP earnings per share was $0.18, 18 cents. You can see the GAAP net income, it's going very nicely up with some adjustment in there. Net income when excluding one-time SAR related expenses, right? So that would have been a nice parabolic curve. Was it parabolic? Well, it's definitely a nice curve. GAAP operating income, again, there was slight correction, but you can see the uptrend, you can see the upside. Our third quarter 2025 GAAP operating margin was 33%. Very nice number as well. Rule of 40, their rating is 114%. And you can see it's going up. It's not going down. It's going up since 2023. US revenue grew 77% year over year. We are hearing from Bloomberg as well. Bear with me. Let me just tune in.
Outpaced analyst estimates for third quarter sales, citing accelerating and otherworldly growth for its AI and data analytics products. Now, revenue increased 63% to $1.18 billion in the period ending in September. Analysts on average estimated $1.09 billion.
Come on, mate. We are now doing it literally as we speak. All right. So that was just a little update. We are doing the same. We are doing the same thing live on the show now. We are going through the presentation. We are about 36 minutes away from Alex Karp taking the stage and start talking about the fundamentals, giving us business update and what are the plans for the future. US revenue grew 77% year over year and 20% quarter over quarter by acceleration and US commercial. I can see more people coming in. Thank you everyone for joining. You are watching Martyn, Lucas Investor, and Vaz, and we are now waiting for Palantir third quarter earnings call presentation. I'm closing the poll now. So what was the expectation? Let me just show it on the screen. We were expecting beat 80% by a mile. We were expecting a beat, which we got. Miss 15%, sideways 6%. If you have any comments, we have a lot of. Sorry, I could. Somebody said I've got echo. That should be sorted now. I pressed a button by accident. I do apologize. We have a lot of Palantir investors. Let me know in the chat what is your average. We have more people coming in. Let me know what is your average. Don't tell me how many shares you have, how much money you spent, but let me know your average. I'm very interested. And I'm opening a new poll. And what are we going to talk about? I wanna know if you think we will have another rally, if we push higher, or if we go sideways, or if Palantir will start selling off. Will Palantir rally tomorrow? Tomorrow. Yes. Sideways and sell off. Sell off and undecided. So you can take part in the poll. I want to hear the sentiment. Why we are doing these polls? Because we can gauge the investor sentiment and we can see what the investors are feeling. So let's get back to the slides. US revenue grew 77% year over year. We can see the nice little chart. It's a very simple chart. What else we've got here? We've got US commercial revenue growth of 121% and US government revenue growth of 52%. Commercial revenue growth 73%, government revenue growth year over year 55%, and total revenue growth third quarter 2024 and current quarter 2025 63%. That is a very good number. I'm loving it. I just don't like the price of the stock. Total revenue grew 63% year over year and 18% quarter over quarter, driven by the continued acceleration of our US business. Total revenue, excluding strategic commercial contracts, grew 65% year over year and 18% quarter over quarter. You can see it here. What else we've got? We continue to invest aggressively in AIP and the US while driving operating leverage at scale. So you can see, let's have a look at this chart. I'll bring it on the screen. We have this nice little graph in here. Third quarter 25 adjusted operating income was 601 million, representing a margin of 51%. Very, very nice. I can see more people coming in. Thank you everyone for joining. You are watching Martyn, Lucas Investor, and Vaz. My face is very red because I've left the heater on and I'm literally sweating. But we are covering Palantir third quarter earnings call. We are about 33 minutes away from Alex Karp taking the stage, maybe shouting and swearing, maybe being just calm and placid. Last time it was very calm and very steady presentation. The previous quarter, however, was very emotional. Are we going? Well, that'll be our next poll. Currently in the chat, we have a poll. We are running a poll, and this is to gauge investor sentiment. This is to see how the market, how the retail investors, how are you feeling? So let me know, will Palantir rally tomorrow? Yes, we will rally. We will go sideways. There'll be a sell-off, or are you undecided? I will leave this on for a few minutes, and then there will be the next poll. What is the presentation going to be like? Is he going to be emotional? Is Alex going to shout? Is he going to swear? I don't have that many options now. Or is it going to be quiet and professional? Well, let's find out. Let's get this poll out of the way. I will leave it on for 2 minutes. We are now reading through the slides. We are going through the numbers. What is Palantir doing? Going sideways, holding around $207. We had you should see, those who just joined, you should see that massive green candle. That was amazing. When the numbers came out, we had a massive green candle. I hope you took some profits. I hope you have been taking profits. If you are trading Palantir, let's wait for the guidance. Let's see what Alex is going to tell us as well. Those who just joined, let me know in the chat, what is your average? I don't want to know your position. I don't want to know how much money you've invested in Palantir, but let me know what is your average. I'm very interested because we have people who bought a Palantir for $20 and $28 watching us. How about that? So we have US commercial customer count is growing per quarter. You can see the nice little run up. Customer count in general, 45% up year over year. Commercial customer count, 49% up year over year. During third quarter 25, we closed 204 deals of at least 1 million. So that is revenue of at least $204 million. 91 of which were at least 5 million. And 53 of which were at least 10 million. Very, very interesting numbers. We ended third quarter 2025, and this is very important. This is massive number. We ended third quarter 2025 with 6.4 billion in cash equivalents, and US Treasury securities, and no debt. And I can see John Gurney, am I saying that right? $14. Congratulations, $14. Are you still in Palantir? Are you still holding, or are you just holding your the little bag you secured in the beginning? Is it your full position, or have you been taking profits? Cash from operations and adjusted free cash flow. There is a nice little chart for you as well. Comparison of the margin, third quarter 24 and 25. What else we've got here in the slides? Let's check on Bloomberg. Are we talking about Palantir? We are not talking about Palantir. We are not talking about Hims and Hers either. Hims and Hers looks like we had a miss. 21 AI startups to watch. The vibe coders, the other model makers, the content creators, the foundation builders, the robotics. Interesting. That was random. Right, fourth quarter, we have more slides. And we have a new subscriber. Thank you for joining. We have fourth quarter. That's actually a good point. Thank you for doing that. If you like this content, if you like Palantir, we cover Palantir. We cover most of Palantir's earnings as well. I have been covering most of the earnings in past 2 weeks. We did Amazon, we did Tesla, we did Microsoft. Tomorrow we are doing Vertical Aerospace, one of the eVTOL manufacturers. Wednesday we are doing Joby. Thursday we are doing Archer Aviation, and Archer Aviation are actually one of the partners or one of the customers of Palantir. Look at this aircraft. Look at this beautiful sports car vibing aircraft. This is a hybrid between a helicopter and a fixed wing aircraft. this is Archer Midnight, and it's called an eVTOL. This is supposed to be the future of urban transport. This is called, I don't like it, but people call it a flying taxi. So think of it as a hybrid between helicopter, aeroplane, and a taxi cab. And this is designed to aid densely populated areas. This is designed to avoid traffic congestions. So think of traveling from Manhattan to JFK in New York, and you are stuck, it's peak hour, and you are stuck in traffic. That would have taken you maybe 1.5, maybe 2 hours. With this beautiful aircraft, you can do it for as little as 10, 15 minutes. It's much safer, it's much quiet than, it's much more quiet than the helicopters as well. Much safer because you have multiple rotors, so if one of these fails, it's not a critical failure. And this is the future. We believe this is another big market. This is the new electric vehicle market. So we are expecting this to have massive upside by the end of the decade. And we are here at the early days of a new Tesla. Would this be Archer Aviation? Would this be Joby Aviation? Would this be Vertical Aerospace? We don't know yet. But we still see a massive upside. And this week we are covering all 3 major eVTOL manufacturers' earnings. And I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Goldstein actually mentions Palantir on the earnings call on Thursday. So let's have a look at the stock chart. We are going sideways currently. We have a poll. We are running a poll. I've got 80 votes. I'll give you 10 more seconds. Cast your votes. Will Palantir rally tomorrow? Yes, it will go sideways, it will sell off, or undecided. You have 10 more seconds. We are about 25 minutes away from the actual conference call. We are about 25 minutes away from seeing Alex Karp taking the stage. Somebody's just said, Paul, I can't read your name, sorry. Is that a Slavic name? Paul says, Palantir, $21. Congratulations. What is the wider market? Oh, Palantir is pushing slightly up. What is the market doing? S&P holding at 0.25 intraday. Nasdaq going sideways. Gold coming down. Silver coming down. Crypto seem to be recovering slightly. That's good. Palantir is slowly inching up. We are now at $208.75. Very interesting. So let me close the poll. Put it on the screen for you. Are we going to have a rally with Palantir? I'm closing the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, the poll is closed. So what is your opinion? Yes, you can see a rally tomorrow. Almost 60% can see a rally tomorrow. Very interesting. Sell off 18%, sideways 14%, and undecided 9%. So let's put up the best poll I have ever done on the show. Will Alex Karp behave? Will Alex Karp behave on the call? Option 1 is yes. Option 2 is F bomb. We might hear a swear word. Option 3 will be shouting, and option 4 will be what else can Alex do? I mean, we covered it pretty much all of it, didn't we? Okay, let's do this poll. Well, Alex must contain between 1 and... Okay, let me close this. Right. This is just a fun poll, yeah? I like Alex, I like the business, I do respect him. He's built massive enterprise, massive business. But let's let's see what we can expect. I mean, we love Alex Folliott as well. Very emotional, very passionate about his business, what he's doing. So I can see your votes coming in. I mean, the first quarter was very wild. The first quarter of this year was very wild. So I can see your votes coming in. This is just a fun poll, yeah? So what is Palantir doing? Slightly pushing up, holding at $208. The markets are currently going slightly sideways. Crypto seem to be recovering. XRP was down 10.5%. Now we are 8.7. Ethereum was, I think, 8.5%, if I remember when I opened the event. Now we are 7.76, and Bitcoin down 3.3%. I am watching Bloomberg if we are seeing any updates, but they are not talking about anything. They are not talking about hims and hers. They are not talking about Palantir anymore. So they probably didn't find it interesting. So what else we've got here? Revenue. Oh, guidance. Hey, that's what we need. Guidance for fourth quarter. Guidance for fourth quarter this year. Revenue between 1.327 and 1.331 billion. Adjusted income from operations between 695 and 699 million. Fiscal year 25 for full year, not fiscal year, full year 25, we expect revenue of between, well, about 4.4 billion. Wow. US commercial revenue in excess of 1.433 billion, representing a growth rate of at least 104%. Adjusted income for next quarter is expected to be between 2.151 billion and 2.155 billion. Adjusted free cash flow of between 1.9 and 2.1 billion. Very interesting guidance, very strong guidance as well. Third quarter, we've got some attachments. What else we've got here? Oh, this is the actual finances. So what is here? Total RPO. Right, that is growing. We'll hear this from Alex, no doubt. They always mention this, and they always bring up the slides and refer to the presentation. So you are in the right place. I'll have the presentation on the screen for you. Don't worry. Year-over-year revenue growth. Yes, we've covered this. So we have nice tables. We have nice charts as well. What else we've got? Cash flow. From operating activities, yeah, we've got this. We've covered this. Gross profit, almost $1 billion, almost $1 billion, and stock-based compensation, $15.789 million. Adjusted gross profit, almost 1 billion, 10.5 million shy of 1 billion, and 84% gross margin. Very nice numbers. I like it. It's just too expensive. Reconciliation of income from operations and adjusted operating income and adjusted operating margin. Again, Alex will no doubt mention this on the call and refer to it. What else we've got? Reconciliation of income from operations and operating income when excluding one-time SAR related expenses. Okay, reconciliation of GAAP net income. Do we have any else which we haven't covered? Reconciliation of revenue to billings, reconciliation of cost of revenue to operating expenses and adjusted. Right, I think we've covered all the numbers. Let me get the presentation on standby. I'll be showing this along with Alex talking. We are about 17 minutes away. Archer, Palantir usually start on time, so we are about 17 minutes away. from the actual call. So stand by. In the meantime, we have a poll. Will it's a little light-hearted poll, yeah. It's just a little fun. Will Alex Carr behave on the call? Yes, he will drop an F-bomb, or he will be shouting. Cast your votes in. Cast your votes in. I wanna see what you are thinking. So Palantir still sideways. $207.77. Let me get some liquids. Let me take some liquids. I'm checking Bloomberg. They are not talking about anything else. Shall we check out what else we've got? What else we've got happening tonight from earnings? Let's have a look at our earnings hub. What else we could cover? What else we could cover? That is next week. So this week. Sorry, I was showing you next week. So tomorrow after hours, AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, SMCI, Super Microcomputer, Arista Network, Rivian. We've got Tempus AI, we've got Astera Labs, we've got Mara, Zeta, Global Holdings, Kava Group, Upstart as well. A very interesting fintech. Got Axon as well. So if you want me to cover any earnings for you after hours tomorrow, you can lock yourself in. You can lock it in. Otherwise, I'm not going to be live tomorrow. I'll be live in the morning with Vertical Aerospace earnings, and then I'll be giving you preview for Archer Aviation earnings call as well. So what? Today we have Palantir, hims and hers. We have Reality Income Corporation, ticker symbol O. We've got Grab Holding. We've got Navitas Semiconductors. We've got Energy Fuels, VRTX, Vertex, BWX, Diamondback. Well, if you want me to have a look at any other company, we can do it because we have about 15 minutes. To keep us busy. Let me know in the chat if you want me to have a look at any company, and we can have a look at their performance today. What are the markets doing? Let me check Bloomberg. They just mentioned Palantir. No, they are not talking about anything related to Palantir. What is the market doing? We see Palantir holding is going sideways. They are waiting for the guidance. They are waiting for the call. If we have any reaction or not. And the whole market, S&P, going sideways. Same with Nasdaq, Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum going sideways. Gold slightly down. It will probably go below the $4,000 mark. And silver 48,092. The reason why I'm looking at that way, I've got my monitor screen in here, and I've got a plugin in my OBS in my broadcast studio, and I can't see it on any other screen. And my screen is mirroring, and it's just complicated. But I'm looking in the right direction. The camera is mirroring it and flipping it. Hood earnings. Do we have Robinhood earnings? When was Robinhood earnings? That's not today, is it? Oh, Paul, if you want Cedar Tree's Grab earnings, I will have a look. Shortly. Paul, if you want us to cover any earnings, that's a member's perk. You need to be a member. But no doubt I will talk about it on Joby Aviation's earnings call on Wednesday as well. I can branch out. So Grab. Cedar Trees is asking me about Grab Holdings. Don't have the numbers out, so let's check the website. Grab Holdings earnings. Let's check their website, and we quickly cast through the results. Let me bring it up on the screen for you as well. By the way, I've got excuse me, I've got different software to show you the charts. I just haven't had the time to plug it into my studio. So for now we have to go with the browser, but later, hopefully through the week, I should be able to bring you better view of the stock price as well. So the earnings are out. We had a slight upside, and then we are going sideways. Grab. Oh, Paul is asking, what do I think of Robinhood earnings? Well, I think that'll be a big beat as well. I'll be probably the same. I'll be going the same journey as Palantir, just going up until it won't. Yeah, I'm expecting a solid beat from Robinhood on Wednesday. Letter from our founders. Well, let's have a look at this. No, hang on. Investor relations, financial information, quarterly results, second quarter. I don't have the... Yeah, it's one of them. It's one of them who delay. I mean, what was it? Was it Meta? Meta last week. They didn't put up their report. They didn't put up their report until like 2 hours late. And it's Meta, you know, it's high-tech company. It's high-profile tech company. And they just delay this up. Again, let's have a look if we have the... Yeah, we don't have anything out yet. So sorry, Cedar Trees, I can't show you anything. What else can we do? I can have a look at Earnings Hub. They start their earnings call late as well. Really? Yeah, they start their earnings call in 2 hours. Yeah, I'm not very clued up on... We have any numbers through? No. No, good, just estimates. I don't think the numbers are out, to be fair. Grab holdings. I don't think the numbers are out. Let's have a look at TradingView. Grab holdings. We are about 10 minutes away from Alex Karp taking the stage, and he will be talking about third quarter 2025 earnings for Palantir Technologies. Grab holding earnings. I don't think we have the numbers out yet. See the trees. I can't see anything. If I go to news. Yeah, I can't see any numbers out. I think they'll be reporting a bit later. That's why it's not on their website, and that's why Earnings Hub is not picking anything up either. Yeah, if I show you their website or refresh it, the last quarter is second quarter, so we don't have anything out yet. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Right, we are about 8 minutes away. We are about 8 minutes away. I will close this little fun poll. Will Alex Karp behave on the call? Will Alex Karp behave on the call? Yes, 46% are believing and they trust Alex Karp. He won't be swearing, he won't be shouting. 37% are probably wishing for an F-bomb, and 17% saying shouting. So that was little something to take off the edge a bit. We are about 7 minutes away. We're about 8 minutes away. We're about 8 minutes away. I've got the stream on standby. We haven't started yet, but Palantir usually starts on time. And we will have visual presentation as well. Do we have any more information? No, we don't. I'm just checking through the website if we have any updates or anything, but no. We just have links to the webcast. Checking Bloomberg. Bloomberg is quiet. They are not interested in Palantir. Very interesting. Last week, we had was it Wednesday or Tuesday? We had Meta, Microsoft, and what was the third one? We had Meta, Microsoft, and Meta, Microsoft, and Google, Alphabet, and Bloomberg was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now just Palantir and hims and hers, and nobody cares. So yeah, you can see they are very quiet. We are about 6-7 minutes away from starting the actual call. Palantir is pushing up. We are $210.51. Let's see the reaction on the call. Let me just check something quickly here. Let me just quickly check something quickly. WTF Craps. It's a very interesting name. AMD, that's a members pack. I would love to do it, but that is only for members. Only members can request earnings call. So if you want to become a member, I've got a link for you. If you want to become a member. There we go. So I'll pop it in the chat for you. If you become a member, I'll tell you what. Usually it costs $10. It costs $10, but if you become a member, there'll be a $5 super chat for you. $5 super chat. How about that? And we'll cover AMD tomorrow. AMD earnings. Right, we are eyeing the actual webcast. Let me just change my windows. Let me change my settings. 5 minutes away, and Palantir is going up. Palantir is pushing up. Very interesting. Are we going to get another push up? Are we going to see another big green candle? Well, we might do as well. What is very, very important is not the actual call. Very important is the Q&A section, the questions. Because it's, yes, there are some regulations. These questions are not made in the spot. But this is something you can see. You can always see the presentation of the CEO. It's sort of corporate. It's very, very tidy and this and the other. But the questions, they are sort of almost unprompted. And it's something that can usually get us a good reaction. Usually on the Q&A, we see the stock going up or down. So that is something I would definitely recommend to stand by and wait for the actual Q&A section. We are 4 minutes away. And Palantir is pushing to $210 and holding there for now. Very interesting. What is the rest of the market doing? Let me get some liquids. S&P and Nasdaq going sideways. Crypto currently going sideways as well. Gold still holding above $4,000 just, and it's broken through. And silver, excuse me, going slightly down. Silver going slightly down. Cedar Tree says, I don't see any numbers for grab as well. Thanks for looking. No problem, Cedar Trees. It's weird. There's some companies. Who was it? Last week, I think it was Apple. They started their call later and they released their numbers late as well. They released their numbers half an hour late after everyone. So it was a very interesting strategy as well. So yeah, I don't know how the companies decide when they are going to release the numbers, or because in the morning is the worst, because morning you have some companies are starting like 3-4 hours before the opening bell and doing their reports, and some companies they are the typical hour or hour and a half before the opening bell, and then you have some companies doing that earnings call like through the day and releasing the numbers through the day. So it's quite interesting. I would like to see the logic how the CEO decides and how the company decides when they are going to release their numbers. We are 2 minutes away. 2 minutes away until Alex Karp is going to take the stage and start moving. Well, will he start moving the stock price? Will he start moving the stock price up or down? It's only one way to find out. It's only one way to find out. And we will get there in 2 minutes. Palantir currently holding at $200.10 and 70 cents. It looks like it wants to go up. It looks like it wants to go up. And are we going to hit this previous all-time high? What was it? $222. Bang on. $222. Are we going to hit $222? Well, we will find out. 1 minute, 20 seconds. 1 minute, 20 seconds. I'm getting notifications on my phone somehow. Let me just quickly check if it's something related to the stock market. If we have any news, any updates on the stock market. No, I just got notification that I am going live on Martyn Lucas Investor. That's very timely. Very interesting. YouTube sometimes is a bit weird with the notifications. I don't know. All right, we've got a stream coming through. So let me put it on the screen. YouTube is a bit weird with their notifications. Sometimes it's a hit and miss. I don't really know. Sometimes I get it like 2 hours late. Sometimes I'm not getting it at all. Very, very weird. We have a good audience. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like this content. Subscribe. If you want some extra perks, if you want me to cover your earnings call, you can become a member. And I'll tell you one thing. Tomorrow, if somebody wants to become a member to lock in an earnings for tomorrow, if you become a member right now on my show, I will do the earnings call for you for free. Not for free. Let's not say for free. I will do you a favor. Yeah, I'll do you a favor because you are joining our channel. If somebody wants to cover, somebody of the non-members wants to see any earnings tomorrow, if you become a member, first comes, first serve. First one who comes in as a member, you can have your earnings tomorrow and it will cost you nothing. How about that? How about that for a deal? Right, we've got some activity. So let me put this up for you and I will get quiet.
During the call, we will make statements regarding our business that may be considered forward-looking within applicable securities laws, including statements regarding our fourth quarter and fiscal 2025 results, management's expectations for our future financial and operational performance, and other statements regarding our plans, prospects, and expectations. These statements are not promises or guarantees and are subject to risks and uncertainties, which could cause them to differ materially from actual results. Information concerning those risks is available in our earnings press release distributed after the market closed today and in our SEC filings. We undertake no obligation to update forward-looking statements except as required by law. Further, during the course of today's call, we will refer to certain adjusted financial measures. These non-GAAP financial measures should be considered in addition to, not as a substitute for or in isolation from, GAAP measures. Additional information about these non-GAAP measures, including reconciliation of non-GAAP to comparable GAAP measures, is included in our press release and investor presentation provided today. Our press release, investor presentation, and other earnings materials are available on our investor relations website at investors.palantir.com. Over the course of the call, we will refer to various growth rates when discussing our business. These rates reflect year-over-year comparisons unless otherwise stated. Joining me on today's call are Alex Karp, Chief Executive Officer, Shyam Sankar, Chief Technology Officer, Dave Glazer, Chief Financial Officer, and Ryan Taylor, Chief Revenue Officer and Chief Legal Officer. I'll now turn it over to Ryan to start the call.
We had a monumental third quarter, shattering expectations yet again. Our overall revenue grew 63% year over year and 18% sequentially. We outperformed across the board, driven by strong execution in the US, which accounted for 3/4 of our business in Q3, growing 77% year over year and 20% sequentially. Our Rule of 40 score soared to an unprecedented 114, up 46 points year over year and a full 20 points since last quarter alone, reinforcing our position as the defining enterprise software company of our generation. Our U.S. commercial business grew an incredible 121% year over year and 29% sequentially, driven both by insatiable demand and the quantified exceptionalism compelling customers to scale AIP across their operations. Organizations are embracing an undeniable truth. Real enterprise AI at scale requires Palantir. We're seeing that AIP, again and again, is the only platform delivering transformational impact in this market. And critically, AIP is the only AI platform that has an actual plan for compounding your enterprise's AI leverage, not just the model maker's leverage over you. Sharing this leverage with our customers is our highest priority. Our whole company is singularly focused around value creation for our customers, and I'm proud to share with you all the fruits of our labor. We closed our highest TCV quarter ever at $2.8 billion. Underlying this performance, we closed a staggering 204 deals worth $1 million or more, of which 91 deals were worth $5 million or more, and 53 deals were worth $10 million or more. In our U.S. commercial business, which now accounts for 34% of our overall revenue, we closed $1.3 billion in TCV, a milestone achievement for the fastest growing area of our business, with a more than 6x year-over-year growth rate on a dollar-weighted duration basis. The trajectory is clear. Customers are converting to larger enterprise agreements in short timeframes, reflecting both the expanding scope of their AI ambitions and the immediate impact our software delivers. A leading medical device manufacturer signed a multi-year expansion just 5 months after their initial contract, increasing ACV more than 8-fold. 2 weeks into their initial contract, the conversation evolved from a single use case to pursuing the opportunity of becoming an AI-first enterprise. Their CEO approached me to embrace a shared vision for an enterprise-wide AIP deployment to transform their entire organization. This transformation reflects a broader pattern we're seeing across our customer base. AI is a strategic imperative owned at the C-suite level, with executive leadership recognizing that enterprise-wide AI adoption is the defining factor separating the AI haves and the AI have-nots. We're seeing C-suite-driven AI transformations across our customers. At a leading insurance company, the CEO has taken personal ownership of their AI transformation, meeting with our team regularly to orchestrate a company-wide transformation around AIP, reimagining every function from underwriting to claims processing, leading to a significant expansion of our work together. Our partnership with TWG Global, named Vergence.ai, continues to gain momentum, as TWG's Thomas Toll noted, quote, "What was once a competitive advantage is now a competitive necessity. Companies that fail to incorporate AI into their core operations will be outpaced by those that do." These examples underscore what we are seeing. We are the only platform bringing true transformational impact to the enterprise AI market. Turning to our U.S. government business, revenue grew 52% year over year and 14% sequentially as we continue to deliver mission-critical capabilities. We remain deeply committed to our founding mission of supporting the U.S. government, honored by the privilege of equipping our nation with transformative software that actually works. We remain focused on delivering the most advanced defense capabilities in the world to the U.S. government and internationally to our allied partners around the world. The momentum we're carrying into Q4 is extraordinary. As we look towards the end of the year, our mission is clear. Deliver the production capabilities that turn AI from promise into performance for the enterprises defining the future of their industries through AIP's compounding AI leverage. I'll now turn it over to Shyam.
Thanks, Ryan. 20 years of grinding has built a unique moat and a growing lead. Our products were built for this moment, and the numbers continue to show it. Realizing value from AI in the enterprise requires the elegant integration of LLMs, workflow, and software. And this is only possible with ontology. Our foundational investments in ontology and infrastructure have positioned us to uniquely deliver on AI demand now and in the world ahead. The most significant product developments are the accelerating progress in our AI applications inside of AIP. AI FDE, our AIP native development agent that understands how to connect to data sources, how to integrate and transform data, how to create ontologies and functions and build applications. It's unleashing incredible speed and productivity for our FDEs and customer developers alike. At one customer, 2 human FDEs spawned an army of AI FDEs to migrate a customer off their legacy data warehouse in 5 days, something that would have taken an army of SIs up to 2 years. This is not a prototype, this is production. Across our customers, the results are shocking. AI HiveMind is a new AIP capability that orchestrates a swarm of dynamically generated agents to tackle hard problem solving, idea generation and refinement, and executable proposal generation that is integrated with ontology and therefore aware of the context of your enterprise. AI HiveMind was originally developed to solve extremely complex problems in the classified space, but it's already been used to help our commercial customers identify bottlenecks in their supply chain, proactively developing possible solutions, and then leveraging AI FDE to code that up into an actual solution. In the government space, AI HiveMind is able to take its proposals and generate intricate mission plans right in Gaia and Maverick. Our focus with AIP continues to be enterprise autonomy, our normative view of where the value is for AI in the enterprise. HiveMind now lets the AI develop novel solutions to emergent challenges and to identify hidden opportunities. And the rest of AIP enables you to turn those ideas into an implemented reality. Closed-loop evolution of the business with AI possible because of AIP and ontology. We continue to make investments that allow enterprises to extend AIP to the far edge. Edge Ontology is a new lightweight implementation of ontology that runs on mobile devices and enables customers to build mobile applications or embedded software for hardware, things like drones and robots, and is fully integrated with your enterprise's AIP instance. Turning to field-facing updates, the U.S. Army issued an official public memo directing all Army organizations to consolidate and centralize on Vantage, the Army data platform built on Foundry and AIP. The Army views this not merely as a technical decision, but a cultural decision, enabling the data-driven decision-making that continues to make our Army the most lethal in the world. This directive will enable the Army to rapidly sunset legacy systems and enable more investment in the Army's future force, concept, and systems. Warp Speed and the American Tech Fellowship, our early investments to support manufacturing and reindustrialization in America, are bearing fruit. While Warp Speed launched by helping new defense entrants meet their surging production goals, it's now being rapidly adopted across the traditional defense industrial base and the maritime industrial base. The second cohort of the American Tech Fellowship will be wrapping up in the next few weeks. We started the American Tech Fellowship because we noticed that many of our best builders were frontline workers. They don't come from conventional consulting backgrounds. They don't have formal computer science backgrounds. To highlight a few of these folks, Mason, a Louisiana-based civil engineer, is building AI applications for more accurate estimates for heavy construction projects, something that is only going to grow with our reindustrialization. Michael, who works for a potato farm in North Dakota, is streamlining its operations. And Cody from Georgia, who is a utilities expert, is building in Foundry to deliver safe, reliable energy across the South. These Americans are the true face of innovation, underscoring that it will be the American worker with AI that drives reindustrialization and American prosperity. Our customers have taken notice and asked us to create American Tech Fellowship programs for their employees specifically, to include Lear, who highlighted their fellowship in their recent earnings call. With that, I'll turn it over to Dave to take us through the numbers.
Thanks, Sean. We had an outstanding third quarter, achieving a Rule of 40 score of 114, our highest ever, by 20 points. We also generated our highest ever reported revenue growth rate of 63% year over year, exceeding the high end of our prior guidance by 1,300 basis points and representing a 3,300 basis point increase compared to the growth rate in Q3 of last year. On the back of this extraordinary strength, we are guiding to revenue of $1.329 billion in the fourth quarter, representing 13% growth quarter over quarter, our highest ever sequential revenue growth guide, and 61% growth year over year. We're also raising our full year 2025 revenue guidance midpoint to $4.398 billion, representing a 53% year-over-year growth rate, an 8-point or $252 million increase over our full year 2025 revenue guidance last quarter. In addition, we're raising our full-year U.S. commercial revenue guidance to an excess of $1.433 billion, representing a growth rate of at least 104% year over year, a 19-point increase over the guidance we gave just last quarter. Accelerating demand for AIP continues to drive the outperformance in our U.S. business overall, which grew 77% year over year and 20% sequentially in the third quarter. Our U.S. commercial business grew 121% year over year and 29% sequentially, and our U.S. government business grew 52% year over year and 14% sequentially. We delivered these exceptional top-line results while also achieving our highest ever reported adjusted operating margin of 51%, exceeding the high end of our prior guidance by 500 basis points and highlighting the unit economics of our business at scale. Our revenue and profitability drove a 20-point sequential increase to our Rule of 40 score from 94 in the second quarter to 114 in the third quarter. On a trailing 12-month basis, we generated $2 billion in adjusted free cash flow for the first time in the company's history. Turning to our global top-line results, third quarter revenue grew 63% year over year and 18% sequentially to $1.181 billion. Third quarter U.S. revenue grew 77% year over year and 20% sequentially to $883 million. Excluding the impact of revenue from strategic commercial contracts, third quarter revenue grew 65% year over year and 18% sequentially, and third quarter U.S. revenue grew 78% year over year and 20% sequentially. We closed our highest ever quarter of TCV bookings at $2.8 billion, up 151% year over year. This eclipses our prior highest quarter of TCV bookings just last quarter by nearly $500 million. Customer count grew 45% year over year and 7% sequentially to 911 customers. Revenue from our largest customers continues to expand. Third quarter trailing 12-month revenue from our top 20 customers increased 38% year over year to $83 million per customer. Now moving to our commercial segment. Third quarter commercial revenue grew 73% year over year and 22% sequentially to $548 million. This is the fourth consecutive quarter that revenue from our commercial business has been larger than our U.S. government business. Excluding the impact from strategic commercial contracts, third quarter commercial revenue grew 77% year over year and 22% sequentially. We closed $1.4 billion in commercial TCV bookings, representing 132% growth year over year and 32% sequentially. AIP continues to drive existing customer expansions and new customer conversions in the U.S. Third quarter U.S. commercial revenue grew 121% year over year and 29% sequentially to $397 million. Excluding revenue from strategic commercial contracts, third quarter U.S. commercial revenue grew 126% year over year and 29% sequentially. In the third quarter, we closed $1.3 billion of U.S. commercial TCV bookings, representing growth of 342% year over year and surpassing the billion-dollar mark for the first time. Over the past 12 months, we closed $3.8 billion of U.S. commercial TCV bookings, a 217% increase from the prior 12 months, highlighting the demand for AI production use cases. Total remaining deal value in our U.S. commercial business grew 199% year over year and 30% sequentially. Our U.S. commercial customer count grew to 530 customers, reflecting growth of 65% year over year and 9% sequentially. Third quarter international commercial revenue grew 10% year over year and 5% sequentially to $152 million. For international commercial business, we continue to capitalize on targeted growth opportunities in Asia, the Middle East, and beyond, but remain focused on accelerating the growth in our U.S. business. Revenue from strategic commercial contracts was $2.9 million for the quarter. We anticipate fourth quarter 2025 revenue from these contracts to be between $2 to $4 million, compared to $9.6 million in the fourth quarter of 2024. We anticipate 2025 revenue from these contracts to be less than 0.5% of full-year revenue. Shifting to our government segment. Third quarter government revenue grew 55% year over year and 14% sequentially to $633 million. Third quarter U.S. government revenue grew 52% year over year and 14% sequentially to $486 million. This growth was driven by continued execution in existing programs and new awards, reflecting the growing demand for AI in our government software offerings. Third quarter international government revenue grew 66% year over year and 16% sequentially to $147 million, bolstered primarily by our continued work in the UK. As previously mentioned, we closed our highest ever quarter of TCV bookings at $2.8 billion, up 151% year over year. Net dollar retention was 134%, an increase of 600 basis points from last quarter. The increase was driven both by expansions at existing customers and new customers acquired in Q3 of last year, as we see the effect of the AI revolution. As net dollar retention does not include revenue from new customers that were acquired in the past 12 months, it does not yet fully capture the acceleration and velocity in our US business over the past year. We ended the third quarter with $8.6 billion in total remaining deal value, an increase of 91% year over year and 21% sequentially, and $2.6 billion in remaining performance obligations, an increase of 66% year over year and 8% sequentially. As a reminder, RPO is primarily comprised of our commercial business, as it does not take into account contracts with an initial term of less than 12 months and contractual obligations that fall beyond termination for convenience clauses, both of which are common in most of our government business. Turning to margin and expense. Adjusted gross margin, which excludes stock-based compensation expense, was 84% for the quarter. Adjusted income from operations, which excludes stock-based compensation expense and related employer payroll taxes, was $601 million, representing adjusted operating margin of 51%. Q3 adjusted expense was $581 million, up 8% sequentially and 29% year over year, primarily driven by our continued investment in AIP and technical hiring. We continue to expect expenses to increase in the fourth quarter as we remain committed to investing in the product pipeline and the most elite technical talent, all while delivering on our goals of sustained GAAP profitability. Third quarter GAAP operating income was $393 million, representing a 33% margin. Third quarter GAAP net income was $476 million, representing a 40% margin. Third quarter stock-based compensation expense was $172 million, and equity-related employer payroll tax expense was $35 million. Third quarter GAAP earnings per share was 18 cents. Third quarter adjusted earnings per share was 21 cents. Additionally, our combined revenue growth and adjusted operating margin accelerated to 114% in the third quarter, a 20-point increase to our Rule of 40 score from the prior quarter and our 9th consecutive quarter of an expanding Rule of 40 score. With the increase in our 2025 revenue and adjusted operating income guidance, we are now guiding to a Rule of 40 score of 102% for the full year. Turning to our cash flow. In the third quarter, we generated $508 million in cash from operations and $540 million in adjusted free cash flow, representing margins of 43% and 46% respectively. Additionally, we achieved $2 billion in trailing 12-month adjusted free cash flow for the first time. Through the end of the third quarter, we repurchased approximately 2.6 million shares as part of our share repurchase program. As of the end of the quarter, we have $880 million remaining of the original authorization. We ended the quarter with $6.4 billion in cash, cash equivalents, and short-term U.S. Treasury securities. Now turning to our outlook. For Q4 2025, we expect revenue of between $1.327 and $1.331 billion, and adjusted income from operations of between $695 and $699 million. For full year 2025, we are raising our revenue guidance to between $4.396 and $4.400 billion. We are raising our U.S. commercial revenue guidance to an excess of $1.433 billion, representing a growth rate of at least 104%. We are raising our adjusted income from operations guidance to between $2.151 and $2.155 billion. We are raising our adjusted free cash flow guidance to between $1.9 and $2.1 billion. And we continue to expect GAAP operating income and net income in each quarter of this year. With that, I'll turn it over to Alex for a few remarks, and then Anna will kick off the Q&A.
Greetings. By any normal or even reasonable standard, these are not normal results. These are not even strong results. These aren't extraordinary results. These are arguably the best results that any software company has ever delivered. That's not hyperbolic, despite what your analyst friends may want you to believe, because they've been wrong at every price. They're wrong on at every single round. But of course, they're persuasive, and they're not investing their own money. But a normal enterprise company should not have a Rule of 40 above 100. A normal enterprise company at our base should not have over 100% U.S. commercial growth, should not have 77% growth in the U.S. And by the way, that that growth is being held down by a stagnant Europe, which is still a significant part of our business. So the pure unvarnished numbers are 77% growth off of a massive, significant base with very significant cash flow, with a company that throws off a Rule of 40 of 114. And then if this world was at all sane, every single person in the financial world would stop and say, how did this happen? How did a company which stood by the American warfighter, Marines, special operators, people in clandestine services, who stood up for our right of free speech and was really the first company to be completely anti-woke, how did this company stick up for the American warfighter, actually give normal Americans venture quality results? So one of the issues we have with the arbiters of truth is it was the American worker that we supported and the American worker that we helped make rich. And the arbiters of truth somehow did not participate in that because they were such experts. And of course, but what these numbers show is doing that and taking the American worker along with it, and doing it in a way that foreshadowed the future. FDE, Ontology, Foundry, making each specific institution, making the American warfighter fight the way the American warfighter is born to fight, empowering the tenets of being, free and having the ability to do creative things in the battlefield context, and then taking enterprises, instead of selling them commodity parasitic software with a massive sales force, with a kind of lumbering, jargon-bearing leaders offering you steaks and dinners and other things we shall not mention, in order that you turn the value, the high value revenue of your enterprise over to them in return for these accolades. We created direct alignment with our customers. And what does that mean? It means when our customers have a unique and tribal way of doing something, whether it's underwriting or fighting or making workers even more valuable, we put an FDE, we orchestrated an ontology, we take the tribal understanding of their business, the specific nature of their business that makes them particular and valuable and lethal, and we empower that. And how do we participate in that? Unlike seemingly in the most obvious way, we are downstream from the value creation. So when you see 141 or you see 77% or 63 and you ask, and by the way, with really a workforce that is not growing in any way linearly proportional to that growth, and also with a sales force which is declining, which seems improbable, the reason why that's working is because we are making our clients more money, or we're making them more dominant on the battlefield, and they're paying us a subset of that. And this is why these numbers are so extraordinary. The sociological and political version of this should be, wait a minute, how can we learn from this? How can we implement institutions? By the way, we have all these people talking about an AI bubble. I'll tell you what 114 proves. There is a massive part of the AI market that actually cares about value creation, and that's the part we own. And we own that part because to do this, you have to have FD orchestration, you have to have ontology, and you have to have Foundry, and you have to have access to the game. And you have to have deep understanding of how to do that. And you have to have done this for a very, very long time with products. By the way, and then the products are getting better and better and better and better. And I'll let Shyam talk about what we're doing on the battlefield to the extent that he can, but you see the very similar trajectory where we're giving America, both in industry and in government, a massive unfair advantage. And again, you see it, like if you look at our numbers, look at how poorly Europe is doing. Look how well America's doing. Look how we're doing this. And again, it's not just top line. The rule of 114 that we have shows top line and bottom line growth that is distinctive, massive, and unique. And on top of everything else, there is this issue in the U.S. that we're all focused on at Palantir, which is what portion of the GDP growth that we're blessed to have in this country, meaning GDP growth defined or helped out and bolstered by AI, what percentage of that is available to the American worker? And so when we're AI, GDP availability for the American worker, meaning do they participate in this growth? Or is it just people around this table who are getting richer and richer? And then you see our platform on the battlefield, as Sean was mentioning, the people doing the coding in AIP are vocationally trained, smart Americans with specific knowledge. They don't have, and actually, the people on the factory floor, very same thing. People across the nation, truck drivers, anybody with specific domain expertise is more powerful, more valuable in our product than they were yesterday. In fact, the real misalignment of AI is with people with commodity, like high-trained elite institution, general specialist. That's just not as valuable as it was. And yes, the destructive, positive destruction of capitalism is going to put that class of people, typically the class of people that also is kind of skeptical of Palantir, under enormous pressure. But it is what I see in these numbers, and what I think we see in these numbers is, to put it slightly over the top. Well, yeah, we were right, you were wrong, and we are going to go very, very deep on our rightness because it is exceedingly good for America. It's exceedingly good for the American economy. It's as good for American workers. And you know what? I really enjoy turning on TV and seeing some analysts explain why some other company is better than ours simply because they didn't make any money on our company and probably aren't. And we're just going to keep going and going and going. And then we're obviously not going to forecast for next year, but I would say if you're thinking about how this company is going to go, look at our ability to value create, look at our ability to create revenue on the top end, look at the unit economics of our business. If you're a technical expert in how do you evaluate business, evaluate those numbers against any other business you've ever seen and then make your decision. But yeah, I'm wildly enthusiastic. I think we're wildly enthusiastic. And thank you for those of you who've stayed with us to enjoy these numbers, especially Palantirians who work day and night to deliver these kind of numbers.
Thank you, Alex. We'll now turn to questions from our shareholders before opening up the call. We received a few questions asking, what do you see as Palantir's unique differentiator that others may not understand?
Well, Alex mentioned a bit of this here. It's become fashionable, actually, for lots of companies to start hiring FDEs. The Financial Times had an article about how it's the most popular new job title. But what you see is that they don't really understand it. It's just mimetic. And everything Alex just said, we build software that works, not software that ought to work. We build software for the world as it exists, not a world that never was. And this ability to find what's true, that comes from the FDE. Our measure of success is not did we sell the software, it's did we solve the problem. And we have built an entire software stack over 2 decades downstream of creating value for our customers. That led to the ontology a decade ago, more than a decade ago, which is a fundamental prerequisite to getting value out of LLMs in the enterprise. And this past year, it led to AI Hivemind and AI FDE.
The other thing, which is implicit in that, is the way we work forces us to go up the chain of complexity every day. So we're taking on the most painful, most integral, most valuable parts of the stack in every enterprise. And it's precisely because that's the way we actually lever our ability to deploy and orchestrate FDEs. That's the way we make our product stronger. And quite frankly, that's the way we produce these numbers, because the closer you are to the front line of the very complex problem that a black box was not meant to solve, cannot solve, and at this point everyone knows a joke to believe it could solve, that's where you and by the way, it's the safest position for us, because this company, we will always believe that we are outsiders. We need to be in the place where the most valuable problem is being solved, because that's the way we end up staying, solving the problem tomorrow, and the way we get paid.
Thank you both. Our next question is from Dan with Wedbush. Dan, please turn on your camera, and then you'll receive a prompt to unmute your line.
Which one? And then with the actually.
Mr. Dan Ives, we don't see you.
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, great. Look, obviously another monster quarter for you guys. Congrats. So my question for you is, for Alex and the team, can you just walk through just the accelerated sales cycles that you're seeing from so many companies that have gone to the boot camps. Like, what surprised you from when they come to you at that first sort of, contact to now actually launching deals? I mean, maybe you could talk about that just in terms of everything you're seeing anecdotally.
Great. Thanks, Dan. So I think, we look at U.S. commercial. We closed $1.3 billion in TCV. That's 6x on a dollar-weighted duration basis from what it was a year ago. And of those deals, 83 were worth $1 million or more, 40 were $5 million or more, 21 deals were $10 million or more. I've been involved in a lot of those directly. I'm feeling exactly what you're asking on the ground from customers. And what's happening now is from the C-suite across the company, customers are coming to us looking to not just say, let's do a use case. The customers where we're having the most impact are coming to us saying, how do we deploy this across our entire organization? How do we reorganize our entire organization around Palantir and AIP? And that's what's happening on the ground. And we're singularly focused on delivering the value to the customers, and that's our go-to-market. How do we get the product to them and deliver the value?
Where Ryan is like really very much on the front line here is, there's both how many customers approach you. I think where we're seeing the biggest shift is the customers who've approached us very quickly want to move to, how would I change my enterprise to express it in a way that's most valuable according to my terms in your product? And then literally want to reorg. A shorthand version that we often use is, you used to have to take your company private to change the unit economics of it. Basically, just like we're providing venture results, high-end venture results to normal investors in the last couple of years, what we're doing actually in enterprises is providing a private equity-like transformation in the public markets, in the public space, under the current leadership. And that's essentially what our best, and by the way, the other thing Ryan would tell you about is our newer clients have much higher expectations of us. Like, they're like, essentially, I want to transform my business. I want to do it in months. I want to do it in the public eye while being in the public market, mostly, not exclusively. And I want you to not only do the product side, but also tell us, how would you actually implement AI, Foundry, Ontology, FDE model, and our tribal knowledge to do that? And it's a completely different game. We used to have to beg and plead to be when we first started talking, we were begging and pleading to be at the margin of a problem that could affect a subset of the business. By the way, Shyam, it's like, unfortunately, he can only tell you 1% of what he's involved in, but this is like exactly the same in the U.S. government around the world. It's like the things that we're sitting on and working on are like crazy, crazy important, and they're not downstream of the problem. They are the problem, and we're reshaping them.
Thank you both. Our next question is from Mariana with Bank of America. Mariana, please turn on your camera, and then you'll receive a prompt to unmute your line.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
So I'm going to do, as usual, a couple of questions, one on commercial, one on defense or government. On commercial, I'd like to follow up to Dan's question. And let's see if you can discuss what changed from a behavioral perspective, from a customer's perspective, to see this accelerated appetite to incorporate Palantir, to not only accelerating how many customers you have, but also the existing customers go up the value chain. And what changed internally as well? We recently saw in a visit these like AI agents or AI FDEs, like how are you incorporating tech internally to be able to accelerate and catch up with that demand? And on the government side, US government up 50% plus is really impressive. And how do you think about opportunities like Golden Dome going forward, piling up to this?
Well, you guys want to answer these questions? I think that there's the external one, which is like, what does it feel like? That's clearly you. The internal one is a really subtle question, and I don't know, anyone should jump in there. And then obviously you should have Shyam opine on, yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you want to start with commercial or?
Sure. Yeah. I think on the external, I think it's like going deeper and deeper and more like tangible results with customers where there's a network effect incoming, like customers sharing impact that we're having and direct impact we're having with customers. Customers are seeing as it's a continuation of what we've been doing, but going deeper and deeper with the customers on that impact. And I think that, what we're seeing is more and more are now coming to us saying, and the ones that are most impactful are coming to us saying, let's do more.
Ryan is our our best at being a wonderful. I'll just give a vulgar version here. Our clients realize the choices suck, basically, and they've tried a lot of stuff. It hasn't worked. And then we're in so many verticals. Let's just say we're in vertical 252 and we dominate for one customer. People see that. And then they're like, oh, well, I'll try this with some, I don't know, knockoff, half fake thing. It's just like, and then a lot of people really still don't understand that are still trying to do this long migration where, LLMs are going to perform as if they're LLMs and ontology and as if the LLMs were not a commodity. But then in the marketplace, they see the final result of someone else using ontology, Foundry, FDE. And now it's like, wait a minute, I'm paying hundreds of millions of dollars and getting nothing. And the person down the road I kind of look down on is way ahead of me, and their unit economics are transforming overnight. And that just shifts the whole conversation. Because then we're like, okay, well, if you want it to work, you're going to have to do these 5 things. And these things are like, you're going to have to talk to Ryan, and you're going to have to, occasionally meet with me, and you're going to have to actually allow us to come in with engineers, and we're going to have to actually work on the problems that are valuable for your business, and also look at the costs that are dragging you down. By the way, the cost for most businesses is not just the actual money they're wasting. That wasted money creates an ecosystem of waste. They're talking to all these vendors all the time about all these things that will never work instead of solving the problem. It's like, and so getting the pathogens out of their business is a real issue, and now they're really, really interested in this. And then on the internal front, I would say, it's just we have to double down. The most important thing for us internally is, with all this success, we do not want to give up the unique attributes of Palantir and somehow purchase fake ways for us that are artificial for us. And so making sure we are very, very close to the problem and making sure everyone here, like if you heard our internal dialogue, it's much more like, who's on the factory floor here? What are we doing internally? How do we make sure our products are better and better? How do we make sure, say, Sham, who's a savant at going around and figuring out what the underlying tech issue is, how do we making sure we have the best product team and the very, very exact right fit for every single deployment across our deployments that we care about, especially mission deployments, which we highly, highly overvalue in terms of our time and energy. And how do you make sure Palantir stays as tribal and cultish and unique as it was 20 years ago? How do we double and triple down on that? And how do we recruit the right people? And then internally we power ICE, we power efforts to defend America and Ukraine, and with allies. We're on the front line of all adversaries, including vis-a-vis China. And we support, we're at ICE, and we've supported Israel. Okay, these are very controversial. I don't know why this is all controversial, but many people find that controversial. Okay, so how do you align people to focus on these things in a way that is actually beneficial for us and our clients? These are really hard and tricky issues that we spend a lot of time. I would say, as an overarching thing, because what we found is the more we focus on our internal dynamics, the better our numbers are. That's why we have less salespeople, and we have 77% growth in 75% of our market, 121% growth in US Comm. Please tell that to some of your friends. I don't even understand how they can look at these numbers and not drop the key out of their Motel 6 and just say, they're bombastic numbers. But it's like internal focus.
I'll make the mistake of trying to follow Alex there and just say on the internal side with AIFDE, that's why we actually originally built it. Our headcount has grown roughly 10%, but revenue grew 63%. How are we doing that? We've made our FDEs wildly more productive. And I mean, so much so that we decided to give it to our customers, and we've started to make our customers more productive. When you have a note like the Army Vantage note, where the Army's consolidating into the Army data platform, you now have an army, literal army of green suiters who need to become proficient developers in the software. And you have a generation of green suiters whose first interaction with the software is going to be with AIFDE. They're going to be superheroes on day one. I think it's accelerating adoption, it's accelerating understanding, like the depth of adoption, not just are you using it, but how much of it are you really using, how much of it can you understand? And then quickly on your comment on the U.S. government business, like, yeah, the number of opportunities out there are great. I can't comment on all the opportunities you mentioned there, but whether it's NGC2, the continued growth of Maven, I mean, we have, of course, America's involved with 3 conflicts right now in the world, from Europe, the Middle East, and in our own hemisphere right now. And things are getting a little spicy in Africa.
By the way, let me say something slightly political, and I'm not saying other people agree with this, but when people are attacking our soldiers for stopping fentanyl from coming to this country, I want people to remember, if fentanyl was killing 60,000 Yale grads instead of 60,000 working class people, we'd be dropping a nuclear bomb on whoever was sending it from South America. So it's slightly like we in this at Palantir, we are on the side of the average American who sometimes gets screwed because all the empathy goes to elite people and none of it goes to the people who are actually dying on our streets. And that's why, it's like when you have an open border, it means that the average poor American earns less. I know my fellow progressives believe having an open border is going to make things, but that's because they're actually repping elite people instead of the working class. And the same thing in South America, where it's like, to believe our Constitution does not give us the right to stop 60,000 deaths a year of working class men and women is insane. And this country is right to stop that, and I am very proud. I don't know all the efforts we're involved in, but to the extent we're involved in these efforts, I and most Palantirians are very proud of this.
You're here.
Thank you. Alex, as always, we have a lot of individual investors on the line. Is there anything you'd like to say before we end the call?
We're rocking along. Please turn on the conventional television and see how unhappy those that didn't invest in us are. Enjoy, get some popcorn. They're crying. We are every day making this company better, and we're doing it for this nation, for allied countries, and also for and I never really like the term retail investors. How about sane people who put up their own money and fight for us? And by the way, you are fighting for the right side of what should work in this country. Meritocracy, lethal technology vis-a-vis adversaries, products that spread GDP to working class men and women by making their value creation higher. And by the way, your bank account. And thank you for that.
Thank you. That concludes Q&A for today's call.
Right, I wasn't disappointed. Were you? It was, yeah. Alex didn't disappoint. Although he didn't swear, he didn't shout. It was again emotional, passionate. I quite like the guidance. I quite like the presentation. What do you think? I've put a new poll up for you. Listening to the earnings call, is this a buy, hold, or sell? So cast your votes. You have couple of minutes, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you are happy with the guidance, and vote. What do you think? Is it a buy, hold, sell, or are you undecided? The more people vote, the better feel, the better sentiment we get on the whole market. Not on the retail investor market, but on the market of the people investing in the company and in the United States, as you heard. That was great. That was actually good. That was actually quite good. Not calling retail investors the retail investors, but the people who are investing in the company. So currently Palantir, $207.80. I think it will follow through the night like this, and then waiting for the market reaction. For the global market, what it's going to do are there going to be any headwinds? Are there going to be any tailwinds? Is this going to explode even higher? Are we gonna match and break through that $222 tomorrow or not? Well, let me know in the chat. I'll be talking to you shortly. Let's check up on the whole market. Well, the S&P is flat intraday. Nasdaq slightly up. XRP, Bitcoin and Ethereum just didn't like it today at all. Gold slightly, very, very slightly, $2.40 above the $4,000 mark, and silver holding just above $48 per ounce. So let's catch up with the chat. I'll give you 10 more seconds to cast your votes. I'll give you 10 more seconds to cast your votes. Sensei is saying sell, sell, sell. I will vote as well. I'm putting undecided because I don't like. I like the guidance. But I don't like the cost, the price of the We have a new subscriber. Thank you for joining. I don't like the cost of the stock. MK London says Palantir to 280. Cedar says I don't see any numbers for grab. They are crying, says Jamie Reese. Yeah, that was quite fun. And Sensei is saying sell, sell, sell. Right. Let me close the poll. 3, 2, 1. 10% undecided. 22% is saying sell. 29% is holding and 39% buy. So 39% people want to grab their popcorn on the next quarter and enjoy the cry of the people who didn't buy Palantir. Okay, fair enough. So plan of action. I would like to ask you to do me a favor. Tomorrow we are covering Vertical Aerospace earnings call. This is a very important company. We have great relationship with them. It's very important to me. Can you do me a favor? When we end this event, it will take you to the earnings call. It starts 1.5 hours before market open. We will hear great presentation. I've got a lot of visuals for you. I've got a lot of graphics, updates. I'm expecting positive result as well. If you go there after this event, Sensei will have his little short morning show before me, and it will send you to me. But if you go there and hit the like button now, I want to see what YouTube does if we get likes before the event. How is YouTube going to promote it? I want to see this I want to have this little gauge. So if you want to go there and hit the like button for me, and maybe just drop a message in the chat, that will be spot on, and I'll be very grateful, and I will deliver great show tomorrow as well. Even if you are not interested in Vertical Aerospace, you will hear great, very professional presentation, very good audio, great guidance. You will see yourselves. I've got a lot of visuals prepared for you as well, a lot of B-rolls. I've got my own footage as well of the actual aircraft and interaction with Vertical. So please, if you want to support me and help me, I'll be very, very grateful. I'm seeing some messages. Sab is here. Thank you for joining. I can't believe how they keep killing it. I sold when it was 109. Then they got into the S&P. Sensei and Martyn have been saying sell, sell, sell since it was 30. Sensei says, Sab, big day for XRP and Ripple tomorrow. Yep, definitely join Sensei tomorrow. And Jeff Belcher says, yeah, you don't know much, but I just bought one at 209. And Sab is joining Sensei. Right, I will wrap it up. I will close this event. Please go to the Vertical Aerospace event. It will take you there automatically, and hit the like button. I want to see how it will perform better or worse tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, Sensei in the morning, then Vertical Aerospace, and opening bell with Vaz, and then Sensei with big crypto and XRP day as well. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves and each other.